Welcome to another day in Gothenburg, and today I'm starting off walking in one of the largest parks here. It's called Trädgårdsföreningen, the Garden Assembly, and it's a really large place. Lots of trees and flowers, very beautiful and peaceful to start your day here. We have a lot of older houses here, and they also have a large greenhouse that's supposed to resemble the historical Crystal Palace of England. You can see on the side here a really large greenhouse. I don't really know if you can enter here for free, if they take a fee to look at all the flowers here. Seems like you can get this particular little room here. The rest is closed. But you can see how many beautiful flowers they have here and plants. But I think also they have one larger greenhouse that you see in the background, and that particular greenhouse offers more flowers and more variety. But I think it comes with a fee, so not possible to enter it. Gothenburg is actually a quite young city. It was founded in the early 17th century by Swedish King Gustav II Adolf, and we saw a statue of him yesterday. He is the founder of the city, so that's why. And when Gothenburg was founded, it was founded to be similar to many Dutch contemporaries, with its canals and commerce, and even to this day it has been the character of a city that is very industrial and kind of gritty, with its big harbor and many industries. Now you've seen some redevelopment in recent years that made Gothenburg change a little bit. And even now you can have good shopping here, some good shopping malls, nice trendy cafes and tourist attraction. But for many years it was a working city with a large working class, with dock workers and shipmen and all these kinds of occupation that really don't exist anymore. And Gothenburg, even to this day, they're kind of known as the city of goa gubbar, which means good guys. They're very hardworking, very humorous, very chatty and easygoing to talk to. And they have this connection to England also, the working class in England. So it was also known as Little London for many years because of the docklands and the working class that existed in both cities. You can see that they have some people actually that are working here in real time, keeping the park nice and clean. Ja, välskött parken är. Tack så mycket. Ni gör ett bra jobb verkar som. Ja, ni gör ett bra jobb. Tack så mycket. Är det rensar i
Ja, precis.
med stenar då eller?
Ja, det är blommor och annat.
Blommor och annat?
Kanske barn som kastar i eller så.
Okej, jag förstår.
Men filter som vid en pool eller någonting liksom.
Ja. Ja.
Ja, några stycken.
Ja, just det.
Men det här låter vi växa ganska fritt.
Ja, jag ser det.
Men det finns någon poäng med det.
Ja.
Odlad mångfald eller så.
Exakt. Det är en väldigt fin park tycker jag. Det är så välskött överallt. Det är fascinerande faktiskt.
Ja, men det är kul att höra.
Ja. Ja. Tack för informationen och ha en fortsatt bra dag.
Trevlig dag.
Okej, hej då. So the guy is cleaning the water here and he explained that they keep it very well maintained so it can look like this. But this particular grass here around the park is actually kept to growing to maintain some kind of diversity or ecological diversity in the park. So this particular part, stenpartiet, they have flowers that are very unusual actually. They only grows in certain parts. I didn't really understand if they're connected to growing closer to stones or mountains, but this is what it is. And it's quite fascinating to walk here. Even if you don't do it for a long time, you can get some information about different flowers and different plants. And I think that makes the park quite interesting place to come, especially if you just want to chill a little bit and enjoy the beautiful surroundings. Okay guys, that was Trädgårdsföreningen. A pretty good start of the day. But we have so much more to discover in this beautiful city. So let's move on to the next place. Come on. So this is Magasin-gatan. A very famous street in Gothenburg. Famous for its food trucks and its posh little shops. It's kind of a trendy place. And I'm going to see what you have here. If there's something interesting. As you probably can see, they have cobblestone streets here, which is quite cozy. This place reminds me a little bit of Södermalm in Stockholm. It has this kind of chic, trendy atmosphere. And then you have some food trucks. Let's check a little bit what they sell. It seems like they are stationary, these ones. They often stand here, I guess. There's a cafe here. Di Matteo. And a fish bar, of course. Who would expect that? I think this is the main square of Magasin-gatan. Asian food, Jinx, but it's closed. And then you have Crave, vegan friendly sliders, homemade snacks. One thing I like about this street is the buildings with bricks. And magazines are often built by bricks. So I think that's the reason it's called Magasin-gatan. It has this kind of retro feeling. Don't know what this building is. Is it a restaurant? It looks like it has been some kind of industry building in the past. Having walked street with cobblestone and a retro feeling. Now it's time to see something even more retro. We're going to Gothenburg's old town, which is called Haga, and we'll check some old buildings and hopefully we find some hidden treasures in that area also. Every neighborhood in Gothenburg got its own church, just like in Stockholm, and this is Haga Church, one of the more impressive churches here in the district of Haga. Let's see if it is possible to briefly walk in and see how it looks like. I must say I like the graffiti wall here. It's very unusual to see graffiti wall like this just close to the church. But this district is kind of arch in a way, so perhaps you shouldn't be too surprised when you see the chick. I really like those small doors all over the church. They have so many back doors. You know, probably close to the main public, but I haven't seen so many small doors around the church. And here is the front of the church. There's a really old clock. Oh, this is beautiful. These glass windows is really amazing. I think this is the nicest part of the church. So this is Haga Church, one of the most famous churches in Gothenburg. And for you that have been following me for a while, know that I've been visiting quite a lot of churches. So coming to Gothenburg is no exception. I try to visit the churches that stands out. The district of Haga is also famous for another thing, a sweet pastry. And they have one of the largest cinnamon buns in all of Sweden. So that's what I'm going to try next. This is Café Husaren. You can probably see that they have some pretty large cinnamon buns. Oops. Just look at that. I think they're even bigger than my head. I don't think I can order something that big. Är det Sveriges största kanelbulle?
Det tror jag nog.
Ja, stor den var. Jag tror den var mindre. Jag tror inte jag orkar inte en sån här stor.
Nej, den tar några dagar att äta om man är själv.
Faktiskt, jag är helt själv. Och på resande fot.
Men de brukar hålla sig i 2-3 dagar.
Okej.
Så man klarar den själv om man vill.
Ja, jag vet inte vad jag ska bära runt med den. Men har ni någonting annat ni kan rekommendera i så fall? Alltså någonting mindre kanske som sticker ut lite?
Alltså vi säljer ju kanelbullarna fjärdedelar av dem där inne om du vill testa den stora.
Okej.
Sen är de här väldigt populära.
Lite kladdig kanske?
Ja, annars är det kakorna.
Det är kakorna, okej.
Ja.
Vad tycker du är bäst då? Om du fick välja?
Efter bullen så tycker jag nog cookiesarna.
Okej, också ganska stor. Ja. Hallongrottorna då? Är de
Ja, de är goda.
goda? Kanske kan ta en hallongrotta då?
Jajamensan.
Ja. Kan man beställa hos dig då, eller?
Ja,
det kan man.
Takeaway. Eller vill du sitta så beställer
Nej,
du.
jag tänkte ta takeaway då.
Ja.
Då tar jag en sån. Det blir lagom. Vet du hur länge den här platsen har funnits, så här kaféet?
Oj, ingen aning. Men om du går in och kollar så ser du. Det är så här. Nu har jag glömt vad det heter. Men det är speciellt tak så. Det är så här.
Ja.
När man vill bygga här så är det. Vad heter det?
Byggnadsminne?
Ja, det är något så här skydds. Man får inte
okej.
bygga hur som helst. Det är så gammalt.
Okej, jag ska ta en titt inne också.
Ska vi se något annat?
Nej, det blir bra.
Det är 40 kronor.
Sådär.
Vill du ha kvitto?
Nej, det är bra, tack. Tack så jättemycket.
Tack så mycket. Ha en fin dag.
Detsamma, hej då. Okay, let's take a look how it looks like inside of this little cafe. She said, look at the ceiling. You cannot change it because this is an historical building. You can see why. I think this hotel, this cafe has been here for quite some time. And this is some historical photograph of the square in Haga district. So this is hallongrotta. It's a cookie with some strawberry cream inside. Let's give it a try. It's really nice. It's good to try something local at least. These particular houses are called landshövdingshouses or governors' houses. They're very typical for Göteborg. And what makes them stand out is that they have one floor of stone and two wooden floors. And the name landshövding comes from the governor, and the governor approved that they could build houses like this in the past. And it was for fire regulations or fire safety regulations, kind of like what you see in New York with a fire escape on many of the older houses. And until 1940, about half of the people in Göteborg lived in houses like this. They were extremely common. But since then, many have been demolished. So now they're mostly found in the districts of Haga and Majorna, where they kept those houses alive, while many others were demolished to make room for more modern buildings. I think this is also what makes this district quite fascinating with these houses, because they're only found in Göteborg. They're not found anywhere else, not even in Sweden. So this is a cultural landmark of Göteborg. And with all those old houses and cobblestone streets, the district of Haga is like Göteborg's old city in a way, kind of like Gamla stan is to Stockholm. So it is a very fascinating place to come here, and there's a lot of tourists around here also, because it gives a very special vibe. If anything, this is Göteborg's most picturesque street. You can see all those locals and tourists alike coming here. Next up, I want to look at this really nice viewpoints of the city. It's called Skansen Kronan, and it's a former fortress that has now become a conference place, and also where people can get married. And it's located at the top of this hill. Okay, let's do this. So this is the park and the building on top of it. So here we are. Here is Skansen Kronan, the iconic fortress of Göteborg. And the name Kronan means crown. So Swedish is quite similar actually to English. And as you see on the top there is a crown. And here you can have conferences, you can get married, you can do all sorts of things. And actually I have been here once on a conference, on a Christmas dinner inside of this building. That was many years ago. And for those of you interested in history, there's actually another fortress in Göteborg called lejonet, the lion, but it's not as scenic as this one, as there are freeways across it. Okay, let's see if we can get some nice views from up here, as they should. So these are quite some impressive views from Skansen-Kronan. You see a large part of the area that we just came from. And quite far away also. So is it worth coming up here? I definitely think so. If you like scenic viewpoints and you like some history, definitely do so. But be prepared to work a little bit. With a population of 600,000 approximately, Gothenburg is actually a quite large Nordic city. It's the largest city that's not a capital in the Nordic countries. And compared to Stockholm, they have many different suburbs, inner city neighborhoods that are very different from each other. And I think if you walk around here in Haga, it's striking how different it is from the central part of Gothenburg. And if you would go out in a suburb, then the contrast is even larger. This beautiful church with a really, really tall spire is Oscar Fredriks Church. And it has the largest spire in Gothenburg. Just look at that church. It's really beautiful. With those large glasses and the really tall spire. Let's have a look inside. This church also has 3 benches, but they are colored green. Some stained glass. And here is the front. Lovely stained glass. And some paintings in the ceiling of angels. And you see Jesus and the apostles. Different pictures from the Bible. Baptization of Jesus, I think. And Jesus ascending to the heaven. Oh, these are some beautiful carved artworks. So although Sweden does not have a very high church attendance anymore, it does have some pretty beautiful churches. And up until the 1960s and even 1970s, they actually built a lot of churches for the modern suburbs that were created in Sweden. So all over Göteborg, Malmö and Stockholm and other cities, they built a church in almost every newly constructed suburb. And the reason for that is that a lot of people that moved into these suburbs were actually coming from other parts of the country, and for them it was important back then to have a church. I'm kind of curious to see another church that is located very, very high. This is Fjällgatan, and it's one of the highest points of Göteborg. And there is a church on top of it called Masthugget Church. This is absolutely exhausting. So we reached the top. This is how they look like here. Some quite interesting governor's houses here also. They were apparently kept intact, as you can see. The bottom floor is stone, but the second and the third of tree. Here's some information about this neighborhood and how the houses looks like or used to look like. And you can see in the background the church I'm going to, Masthugget's kyrka. Here it is, Masthugget's kyrka. It's quite impressive with its really tall tower. Not sure if you can enter the tower, but I'm going to see if it's possible to enter the church. It kind of looks like a fortress in a way, I think. A mix between a church and a fortress. So here is the church. It kind of reflects the neighborhood. Some wooden artwork and some stone. It appears to be quite old church. It's not as bright as the other ones I've been to. Quite dark and gloomy, but interesting nonetheless. Also the benches here are carved wood, but the top is wood. Yes, actually entered from the back, so there was nobody here, but it appears that they were planning for a funeral, so I don't want to stay here too long. But let's check the views. Just look at this view. I think this has to be one of the best views in Gothenburg. You can see the harbor from here. And on the other side you see the tall tower that I visited before, Carachter. I don't know if this camera does any justice of how it looks like, but the views are quite amazing from here actually. You see all of the harbor, boats coming in and out, and all of the construction here and all of the old houses in this neighborhood under us. And there is another view of the church that is located extremely high in this steep neighborhood. This neighborhood over here is called Majorna, and it's known for being quite bohemian and trendy, called the Sailors Tower or Sjömanstorget. So it's probably a tower for the many sailors that came here in the past, for them to see Gothenburg and to give them good luck on the journeys. So this is actually a monument for all the Swedish people that lost their life at sea between 1914 and 1925. And here are all the names of these people that died on Swedish ships during that time. And this street is called Delaware Gatan, which means Delaware Street. And that's quite interesting because a lot of Swedish people that migrated to United States actually went to Delaware. So I think that's the reason it's called Delaware Street. So makes this neighborhood quite picturesque is that it has a combination of brick buildings, probably former warehouses or something, and older tree houses and government mansion buildings that we saw before. So this neighborhood of Majorna is pretty picturesque, just like the other ones we saw today. And they have plenty of things to see, beautiful houses and architecture, and some smaller shops also to discover. But I think I've been walking for quite some time. It's time to head back to the city center again. So I'm gonna catch a ride here from the tram and get back. So we're back in the inner city again, and the beautiful Kungsparken that I briefly looked at the other time. And now I'm heading to Göteborg's most famous street, Avenyn, packed with restaurants and cafes and clubs. We're gonna check it out in a moment. I think this is the absolute center of Göteborg, Avenyn. As you can see, there's also some sightseeing buses here and plenty of cafes. People sit outside. What makes this place so beautiful is that this boulevard is so broad. There is so much space to walk, and they have put some parks also around it, so there's a lot of space when you walk around. So we come to the end of this amazing street with the public library and a large fountain in the middle. And then right ahead of us we see the Poseidon statue, which is kind of the symbol of Göteborg, and at least this street. And of course it's a maritime motif for a city so much connected to water. So guys, we explored most of the city center of Göteborg and most of the sites. Now it's time to go and eat something because I'm getting quite hungry. And one of the most iconic dishes of Göteborg from its street food scene is what I'm going to check out next. Join me. Tjena, tjena. Kan man beställa en halvspecial?
Ja, absolut, vi gör det.
Och kanske en dricka till också?
Ja, det är klart. Ja, burk eller flaska?
Vad sa du?
Burk eller flaska?
En burk tack. Ta din cola. Ja, okej. Är halvspecial det kändaste rätt eller?
Ja.
Det är klassiskt Göteborg?
Ja, det är klassiskt som är... Det är mest såld i restaurangen typ.
Absolut.
Ja, men efter det kommer burgare och sånt.
Okej.
Så-
Men det är det typ så här, det är potatismos då
Potatis,
och korv.
och bröd med så...
Perfekt. Ja, det låter kul. Tack så mycket, jag sätter mig.
Bara vi det.
So we're gonna try Göteborg's most famous street food item, which is called halvspecial, which is sausage and a bread and potato mousse on it. A classic invented here in the 1960s. Let's check it out. Är det hemlagat potatismos?
Ja,
Wow,
det är det precis det.
exakt.
5 minuter sedan.
Ja, men det blir bra. Kul att testa.
Ja. Vill du ha samma sak på mosen?
Ja, kan ta det.
Vill du ha rostad lök med den?
Ja, visst. Är det det vanligaste eller? De brukar ha rostad. Okej.
Men det smakar gott med mosen.
Ja,
Det här är den.
tack så jättemycket.
Varsågod.
And it's typical for Göteborg. And like the guy said, this is the most sold item also on this eatery. So let's give it a go. Let's try the potato mousse that is newly made in the kiosk. It's actually very nice. It's very soft. You can tell that it's made recently. It's quite interesting story here. You probably heard that it's called half special or halv special. And the reason is that there is one half and one full. And the full one is 2 sausages. But this one is half because it only has 1. So let's try also the sausage. classical Swedish fast food from Göteborg. I don't know if you see this, but the bun is submerged under the potato mousse, so you don't really see it actually before you have eaten the potato mousse. This is Göteborg's main post office, or is it? I guess you have to check the next video to find out. Until then, take care.